You're listening to the Fierce Fatty Podcast, episode 77. Being fat and unhealthy. Is it true that if you really loved yourself, you'd lose weight? Question mark. Let's do it.
Perfect.
I'm Victoria Wellesby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident, fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money, and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty Podcast. Let's begin.
Someone is outside cleaning something, power washing something, so hopefully you can't hear that noise too much. And welcome to this episode 77. Two swans are swimming. Isn't that seven? Is the swan swimming? Or is that two swans are swimming. Bingo calling. Can't wait till we get to 88, two fat ladies. Do you do that in North America with bingo? Do you have the legs 11? Doors next door. I don't even know that's one, but whatever. So how's life? Well, rhetorical question. Why are you not responding? Rude. I've asked you a question. How are you? Well, I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. This week I've been quite busy getting poked and prodded with things. I got a vaccination, not COVID. So sad about it. But the HPV vaccination. I got the first one like years ago, and I something must have happened in my brain where I just was like, don't understand, because I only got one when you're meant to have three, and I was like, I think I've done it, but then I realised that I actually need three. So I'm starting again with the thing. It takes 6 months to get all three. So anyway, I got my HPV vaccine, the first of three, and then I got my yearly physical at the doctor. Well, I called and I was like, I need to get a PAP booked in. A PAP in the UK is called a smear test, which is the worst word, smear. Like, come on now. PAP is better. Because PAP is, I don't even know what PAP stands for, but it sounds better than smear. So the guy was like, oh, do you want to get your yearly physical done? And I was like, I've never had a yearly physical before, so let's do it. I don't really know what is involved. Turns out it's just exactly what happens when I go to the doctor anyway, because I have hypothyroidism and low iron and things like that. I get my blood work taken all the time, so it's just like getting your blood pressure, and because I'm on the pill I get my blood pressure taken anyway, getting your blood work and your blood pressure. And then he was like, well, part of the physical, I need to know your height and your weight. And I was like, no thank you, I can tell you what my height is. And he's like, yeah, we need to know your weight as well. And I was like, no thank you. And he's like, oh, it's a part of the physical. And I was like, no thank you. And he's like, okay. I said, I'm 5'7". He's like, wrote it on his piece of paper and then walked away. And I was like, that's the first time have I at that doctor's? Yeah, that's the first time I've had to say no thank you to being weighed. So that's what the yearly physical is I guess being weighed. And so I had it in my head, oh, they might ask to weigh me. And I thought, am I going to educate them in the moment? And I thought, I'll see how it goes. Because if he was like, but we need it, I would say, I have a history of disordered eating and an eating disorder, and weighing me would be bad for my mental health. And then if if they pressed any more, I would say weight is not an indicator of health. If we need my weight to calculate medication dosages, then that is absolutely fine. But as a general screening, it's not necessary. So I had that all prepared. And then I went and got my blood pressure, and my heart was beating because of that. And listen, I do this. This is my job, right? Talking about this stuff and having a very pleasant no thank you. I had to say no thank you twice. A very pleasant no thank you. And then he just said, okay, and then walked away. That caused my heart to start beating. And so then when I got my blood pressure done, one of the numbers was too high, and I was just about to get my pap, and she's like, oh, that other number is a bit high. And I said, could it be due to stress? And she's like, well, yes, you are sat on the bed with no clothes and just a paper gown about to have a pap. So yeah. And I was thinking, yeah. And I also had to deny being weighed, and I didn't know how the doctor was going to act. I didn't know if the doctor was going to, kick down the door to the exam room and be like, bitch, give us your weight. Why are you telling us your weight? Get out, And so my heart was just beating faster than normal. And so anyway, so I have to go back in a couple of weeks to get my blood pressure taken again, because hopefully I won't be as stressed. I could just feel my heart beating, and I was like, Victoria, your heart's beating fast right now because you're feeling stressed. So I want you to take some deep breaths and relax, because it's going to make the blood pressure reading go off. And then my brain was like, oh, you want me to relax? I'll show you fucking relax. Ba-bum, 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 doing the opposite. So, yeah. But I've had that before, where I've had to go back, and because I've been stressed going into the doctors. And so I want to extend massive empathy for those of you who are doing this stuff at the doctors, going and deny and say no thank you to being weighed, because it's difficult, and it's kind of sometimes it might be better for your mental health just to be like, I'll be weighed, but don't tell me the weight, because that act of saying no is stressful. So anyway, so I got my pap. If you've not got a pap and you own a uterus, then I suggest you go in. It's not a big deal. I was watching videos last night, even though I had my pap like a week ago. I was watching videos about the procedure and shit like that, because I was like, I just want to know more. And because when you go in, well, when I've gone in, I've had maybe 5 paps, 6 paps in my life. You just do the thing, and you don't see all the magical equipment that they use. Not that there's loads of equipment, but it's pretty easy, like in and out. Like this woman did it filmed her getting hers, and it took 44 seconds for them to perform the whole procedure. So it's not that big a deal really, but it can be very, very stressful for people, and a lot of people don't go in because of that fear. And I really want to encourage you to go if you have a uterus, if you haven't already, because it's really good at preventing bad shit from happening. 10 years ago, I had a pap, and I had an abnormal result, and I had precancerous cells, and they just had to watch it, and it went away, which was cool. But sometimes, and I was age 26 when that happened, and in the UK, you get your first pap at 25. I don't know about the rest of the world, but still, just because you're young, or if you've had the HPV vaccine, it doesn't mean that you're not at risk of, an abnormal result. And the HPV vaccine, I learned now, it protects you from 9 strains of HPV. And there's actually 90 strains, but the 9 strains they protect you from are the most dangerous, the highest risk to cause cancer and other things that you don't want. But there's still, even if you have the HPV vaccine, some people apparently think, oh, because I've had the vaccine, I can't get cervical cancer. And that ain't true. So anyway, it's fine. Like, do you know what it's like? It's like getting the COVID test. someone sticking something like deep inside that you're like, I don't like this, it's kind of uncomfortable, but it's done in a second, and I didn't, that felt weird, kind of like that. It'd be like if someone put their finger in your ear and you'd be like, I just don't like that. It doesn't feel good, but and obviously everyone has a different reaction. But anyway, so I also was at the doctor's because I am in the process. I've been in the process for the last year of seeking criminal compensation for my sexual assault and abuse at the hands of my ex-partner. Now, in the UK, if you're a victim of a violent crime, I think it has to be a violent crime, maybe just a crime. No, I think a violent crime. If you're a victim of a violent crime, the UK government give you compensation. I never knew this. And so I was like, oh, if that's so, I'm going to apply to get compensation. But because it's been more than a few years since I made my last report to the police, because I went back to the UK to report that he had raped me, and that was maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And so from that date I think it was a couple of years to make the report. And so now I'm having to demonstrate that that I couldn't at the time make the report, and I had to do that through my doctor's records, and so I got all my doctor's records from one doctor. I need to get them from another doctor. And I was reading through, it's so interesting. So some of the things that they write, I'm like, what? Like one of the reports, it said, she is dressed well. I'm like, what the fuck has that got to do with anything, that I'm dressed well? This is weird. That was so weird to read that. Anyway, and so I'm reading all my things, and there was this one thing. I'm like giving you all of my medical history right now in this episode. I'm like, so when I was 7, so I had I have IBS, right? And in the process of diagnosing my IBS, I had to go to a gastroenterologist. And I was reading all the letters the gastroenterologist wrote to my GP, and she was saying things like, I've told Victoria to not eat this, and we've tried this diet and that diet, and she's vegan. At the time I was vegan, and she does everything that I tell her, and there's no change to her symptoms. And so we've put the tube up her bum and in her mouth. You know what that's called? What's that called? What is that called? Anyway, tube at the bum, at the mouth, and put the camera, they have a look. Endoscope? Something like that? Anyway, tube up the bum in the mouth, had a look, took some biopsies, see if there's anything wrong in there. No, there's nothing. So, conclusion, lose some weight. I was like, and the last thing is, she's done all of these things. We've done all these investigations. I told Victoria to lose weight. And I don't remember this, so obviously that part of it didn't traumatize me. I remember the after effects. Like, I remember at that time I was dieting. Now I'm like, now I realize why. Because obviously she said that you have to lose weight, and I was doing lots of weeks where I was like not eating this and not eating that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, now I'm reading it, I'm like, I'm so mad, because at the time I was I'd done they don't know what it is, so they've done all these investigations, and so they're just like, try not being fat, how about that? And as well, I was pretty small. I was like a small fat at the time, still fat, but it's like, why, what evidence? You're a specialist in this area, and all you can say is do this, is to lose weight. What has that got to do with anything? Like, just made me mad. And it's so unethical. Like, lose weight. Oh, okay. How do you do that then? Oh, no study ever once produced in the history of the world that shows any method of weight loss is effective for only a small portion of people. So yeah. So all this has got me thinking. About our journeys into loving and accepting our bodies. And the health thing is such a big, sticky thing. And I see it time and time again. people are not able to accept their bodies because of something that's going on with their health or how they feel in their body. And they say, well, I can't really go all in with loving my body because I still want to lose weight. I shared something on Instagram. I made an image. I'll link to it in the show notes, and it's the unlearning fatphobia and body hate journey. So I shared that a little sort of 6 steps of what it is. Let me read out the steps, and you can think in your brain where you're at and how this is connected to what we're talking to today. So the unlearning fatphobia and body hate journey. Number 1, step 1, believe most, if not all, fat bodies are unhealthy, unattractive, unworthy. Number 2, catalyst/event which reveals body hate isn't sustainable. Begin to explore fat politics/weight science. Number 3, step 3, intellectually understands that fat people can be healthy, attractive, and worthy, still hold some problematic beliefs. Number 4, finds lots of fat people attractive, but not their own fat body, letting go of healthism. Number 5, begins to appreciate, like, or even love their own fat body. And number 6, understand and embody the reality that the issue was never to do with fatness, but with power and oppression. So a lot of people get stuck at number 3 and number 4, which is intellectually understands fat people can be healthy, attractive, and worthy, still holds problematic beliefs. And number 4, finds lots of fat people attractive, but not their own fat body, beginning to let go of healthism. So healthism, and then the other problematic beliefs, is a lot of what I'm talking about here. Is the idea that it's okay to love your body, but I can't love my body because XYZ. And a lot of times that XYZ is because I just don't like the way it feels to be fat, and I need to lose weight because some reason, my health condition or whatever. And this is really highlighted. So I have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group. It's called Fierce Fatty Friends. You can find the link in the show notes to join. And I share lots of different things in there. And one of the things I shared is a quote from a longer blog post. And the quote is, intentionally losing weight is the opposite of body positivity. So that was a quote. And then underneath is a whole kind of, what does that mean exactly? So again, it's intentionally losing weight is the opposite of body positivity. So in a nutshell, what I'm talking about there is body positivity is a political movement created to uplift fat people, increase fat rights and visibility and all that type of stuff. And intentionally losing weight means that you buy into the idea that, 1, there is a diet that works. 2, that you will gain health by losing weight, and that instead of trying to become more healthy at the weight you are. 3, you're in the act of erasing a fat body. And 4, it's got nothing to do with body positivity. Like, hey, we have a political movement that says it's okay to be fat and we should uplift fat people, and losing weight is the opposite. It's just the opposite. It's the opposite. It's like, say if you're in a I love cornflakes club, okay? I love cornflakes club. And then when you go home, you're like, yeah, I'm the number 1 member of the I love cornflakes club. You're out campaigning to remove cornflakes from the world, and you hate cornflakes yourself, and you refuse to have cornflakes in your house, and you think they're disgusting. Well, what? They're just separate things. Just go to the, I love cereal club if you're a cereal fan but you hate cornflakes. And, it's just, it's just not the right thing. Because a lot of people think, because of how a lot of people portray body positivity. A lot of people think body positivity is loving your body. Loving your body and body positivity are two separate concepts. You can love your body and not be body positive. You can be body positive and not love your body. They're two separate things. Body positive is a political movement, and it's all about the rights of fat people, marginalized bodies, and loving your body is about loving your body. So anyway, I put this quote: intentionally losing weight is the opposite of body positivity. And by the way, the word intentionally is important there as well, because sometimes our bodies, we lose weight, we gain weight, it's just what our bodies do. But it's when we are being like, right, I need to become thin and going on a diet. Okay, so a lot of people said, I don't agree with this, because if you really loved yourself, you'd lose weight. And I was like, that's the brakes putting on there. And I was like, what the fuck? How are these people in my group? And also, okay, I need to lay some ground rules here. And also, this is interesting because people are stumbling at this. Yeah, I love myself. That's why I want to lose weight, because I love myself. Fucking diet culture bullshit motherfuckers, companies co-opting this. Well, if you love yourself, you're body positive, so you want to lose weight. No. Well, I guess, some people that is true, right? If you loved yourself, I love myself, so I'm going to lose weight. And I say is true with like a big kind of like, is it? Because really, it comes from a lot of like dieting just comes from a lot of negative, self-hating, fat-hating, oppression, bullshit. So is it coming from a place of light and love and fairies and flowers? I don't think so. So anyway, I had to write a post. I wanted to write a post to pin at the top of the group, so that whenever people come in, because sometimes people come in and I always presume everyone's listened to the podcast, everyone has been on my Instagram, everyone knows who I am, and they come into the group. But there could be people, and I have screening questions. I have screening questions to get in. There could be people that have just seen me 2 minutes ago, and they presume, oh, this is a weight loss group, or some, I don't know. They don't know what I'm about. And so I've pinned a post at the top of the group to make sure that everyone's in agreement. And if you're not, I don't want you in the group, because I don't want any, we have rules in the group, like you can't use the O words, you can't talk about how you're a fat piece of shit, and you can't say things to hurt others, and all sorts of different rules, but not like 1,000 rules, but basically don't be a dick and hurt other people. But anyway, so this is a post. I want to clarify the beliefs of this group so that we're all on the same page. First one, there is no reliable way to lose weight. Not one single study has ever been published to show any way to reduce our size for any more than a tiny percentage of people long term. If you want to lose weight for quote-unquote health reasons, this doesn't mean weight loss will magically work for you. Next one. Saying it's okay to be fat as long as you're healthy is problematic. This is healthism and playing into the quote-unquote good fatty trope. Next. The O words, and I've written out what they are and censored them. The O words are slurs. If you use them in the group, then you must censor them like I have here. And then the next one is, health is a social construct. It is a very complicated issue, and there are many factors that make up someone's quote-unquote health status, including things like access to healthcare, socioeconomic status, race, education level, amount of weight, stigma, experienced, etc. Next, straight-sized people can get the same health issues as fat people. Seeing as we know weight loss doesn't work, then seeking to improve health issues outside of focusing on weight is probably going to have the most helpful outcome. If you have issues with any of the above, then this is probably not the right place for you. I will not tolerate the continued conflation of weight and health. Example, I love myself, therefore I'm going to lose weight to be healthy. The idea that you have to be healthy to be a quote-unquote good fatty. The use of uncensored O words. Moralizing health. Not everyone can be healthy. Not everyone wants to be healthy. Some people really like focusing on improving their health. Some people want to focus on improving their mental health. All of these are morally equal. Again, if you have issues with any of the above, then this is probably not the right place for you. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is to kind of untangle that health thing. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your body. Sometimes people need to do that one last diet to prove to themselves that, yeah, dieting is not the right path for me. Or they could be in that tiny percentage that is like loses weight and has no ill effects and runs off into the sunset in the arms of their hunky lover, you know? Who knows? Chances are it's going to be the first, unfortunately. And then you can run into the arms of into the arms of your hunky lover into a sunset as a fat person, or as a person who doesn't diet. So in some ways that, going on a diet could be helpful for some people, because it could get them to a place where they're like, okay, well, I'm going to try and work out how to overcome how I'm feeling. But it's a risky thing to partake in. And if we can get you to a place where you don't potentially have to harm your physical and mental health to understand diets are bullshit, then that is probably the better route. But, sometimes people just got to learn, right? And so when people are like, no, I just need to diet, I'm just like, go for it. If that's what you feel like you need to do, then maybe it is. You do what you want with your body. But also, if you're interested, here are some other things to consider. So some things I want to consider about this idea. If you loved yourself, then you would go on a diet, or, that stumbling block of, but I want to lose weight for this quote unquote good reason. I don't want to lose weight because I want to look sexy. I want to lose weight because I want to run around with my kids, and I want to be able to touch my toes and tie my shoelaces, and I want to improve this health condition that I'm living with. And if you want to be healthy, great, of course, many people do. Many people want to live a long and happy life, and that's a normal desire. That doesn't make if that is you, that doesn't make you morally superior. And if that's not you, that doesn't make you morally inferior. And also, as I mentioned in that post, not everyone can be healthy. So that's the first thing. If you want to be healthy, that's normal. And the second thing is, it's not your fault if you have a fat body. And if you're unhealthy, it's not something that you need to blame yourself for either. The shame that you're feeling can have dramatic negative effects on your physical and mental health. So all of that shame, we just need to work on getting rid of it, because it's not helpful. Number 3, no matter the reason for wanting to lose weight, your body responds the same way. So it's not like your body is like, well, finally, this bitch is doing a diet because she wants to be healthy, because she wants to run a marathon, because she wants to whatever. Well, now I'm going to listen to her and I'm going to become really thin and healthy and woo! She's finally got the memo. Not like before. She was trying to lose weight because she wanted to be sexy for her husband. Like unfortunately, our bodies are really fucking smart, but, it's not going to be like, this time the restriction is all about loving yourself. In that case, I'm just going to go against everything that I want to do in life. This is your body talking, and become really thin. And your body doesn't know. It doesn't matter. The stats are the same. 95 to 98% of people don't succeed at diets. There's no evidence to show that we can make our body smaller in the long term. And the maximum efficacy rate of a diet is 5%. So imagine if your doctor gave you a pill and said, hey, take these pills. There are some, potentially deadly side effects. Don't worry about those because there's a 5% chance you might temporarily lose weight. A 5% chance max, but you could be actually 2 out of 3 people end up fatter after taking the pill, but there's a 5% chance you might lose weight, but 2 out of 3 people actually put on more weight after the pill. 2 out of 3, yeah, that's 66% of people. 66% of people, but there's a 5% chance. You'd be like, excuse me, motherfucker, no thank you. And depending on your size, the bigger you are, for bigger people, for the fatter people, there's a 0.08% chance for a bigger person to become smaller long term. So if you are fatter, the chances of you becoming smaller is slim. Oh, pun there, but I didn't mean to do it. It's not likely. And if you do diet, then chances are 2 out of 3 people will be bigger than they started out. And 90% of people who are on a diet display symptoms of an eating disorder while on a diet. And we know, I've said in a couple of episodes again, the harmful effects of weight cycling, which is yo-yo dieting. And a lot of the effects of yo-yo dieting are the similar effects that we see in people with higher weight, things like elevated blood pressure and higher risk of certain things. And that can be put down to weight cycling. It's just not good for us, not good for our physical or mental health. So sometimes you'll see anecdotal evidence, maybe in yourself or in others, that when they lose weight or when you lose weight, when you've lost weight in the past, your condition is better, seems to improve. And here's like two sides to that is maybe if you have a smaller body, you're able to do things like tie your shoelaces because you have less adipose tissue. Like that's just like a physical thing. There's less of you. There's less of you to move around to get to your laces. That's just a fact, right? So losing weight could help with being able to do something like, mobility temporarily. And then chances are that you will become bigger than before. And so actually it's worse for mobility if it's literally just your body is in the way of you performing a task. And the other side of this is when people engage in dieting, what they often do is engage in things like physical activity, improving their strength, their stamina, eating a variety of foods. Now, these things, independent of weight loss, are beneficial to our health. And so if we take out the goal of weight loss, which studies have done that, we take out that goal of weight loss, it shows that health-promoting activities are way more sustainable versus if we put weight loss in there as well. And so if 2 people, one had the same, was eating a variety of foods, was moving their body, was not smoking, whatever, and the same person was doing the exact same thing, but also their goal was to lose weight, that person whose goal is to lose weight will stop the health-promoting behaviors way quicker than the one just doing it just because they want to improve their health. Because weight loss doesn't work. And when the person B sees, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not losing weight anymore. I might have at the beginning, but not anymore. Fuck it, it's not working. Whereas person A, they're not looking at the weight. They can see that actually, if I try and improve my stamina and my strength, turns out my stamina and strength improves. Because they're not looking at the number on the scale and they're looking at what they can do with their body or how they feel when they eat certain foods, then they can see the results and they can say, oh, wow, this is great and this is working. But if they were looking at the weight on the scale, they'd be like, this is not working. So you might have that anecdotal evidence of, well, when I have a smaller body, I just feel better. Well, what are you doing? And also, do you feel better just because it's nicer to be in society when you have a smaller body? There's lots of things going on there. So, if you really loved yourself, you would lose weight. I don't know if that is true. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not true, because the two really, like, if you love yourself, you will try and do what's best for yourself through a lens of compassion. And is it compassionate towards yourself to diet? My answer to that is no, not really, because it's harmful to my physical and mental health, and it doesn't make me thinner or better. And even if it did make me thinner, which is very, very unlikely, that doesn't improve my self-love. A lot of the times people on diets, their self-love or self-esteem or body satisfaction levels go down because they're so focused on their body, what it looks like. So if you still feel like you need to diet because you have a health condition, these are the 6 things I want you to know. 1, if you want to be healthy, that's totally normal. It doesn't make you a bad person. Many people want to be healthy, but we also need to recognize that not everyone can be healthy, and focusing on health, physical health too much, and not focusing on mental health or focusing on health in general too much can be problematic and unhealthy. It's not your fault if you have a fat body, and it's not your fault if you have any type of health condition. And shaming yourself for that is going to probably have negative impacts on you. And no matter the reason for wanting to lose weight, your body responds in the same way. So we know these numbers. 95 to 98% of diets fail. And it doesn't matter if you want to lose weight because it just feels better to be smaller, or you have a health condition, or your doctor told you. Those stats remain exactly the same. 2/3 of people who go on a diet will gain more weight than they started with. 90% of people who are on a diet display eating disorder, symptoms of an eating disorder. And depending on your size, the higher weight that you are, you have a 0.08% chance of becoming small and staying that way. So it doesn't matter if you want to become smaller because you want to run after your kids, or you want to be more athletic, or you want to live longer. There's simply no way to become smaller, but there are ways to become healthy. And if we focus on our health outside of our weight, we are way more likely to maintain those health promoting behaviors that we could engage in. And so a lot of times you will have that anecdotal evidence of, when I was smaller, I felt better. Well, my question to you is, what were you doing when you were smaller? Were you moving in a certain way? Were you being outside more? Was your mental health improved? Like, what else were you doing at that time that made you feel better? And potentially doing those things outside of trying to lose weight is going to make you feel the same way. So explore that. And if you are in that stumbling block of, I can't move to that, in that unlearning fat phobia and body hate journey steps. I can't move from 3, 4 to 5, and 5, which is begins to appreciate, like, or even love your own fat body. And number 6 is understand and embody the reality that the issue was never to do with fatness, but with power and oppression. It could be the health thing. And also it could be that that you're in constant learner effect, in constant learner mode, and that you're not taking action, and that you were doing things like learning, and you were not doing. So they could be the things that are keeping you stuck. So, all right. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with me today, and I will see you on. Oh, hang on. Wait. Don't go yet. Don't you go yet. Reminder. Go and sign up for the How to Love Your Body challenge. fiercefatty.com/challenge. How to love your fat body. Be in all the photos, ditch the boring clothes, and stop pulling down your top to hide your belly. We're going to have a challenge. It's going to be amazing. It's happening on May the... Pull up my calendar. May the 3rd. And it's going to be amazing. It's March right now, and I'm already working on it. So you know that shit's going to be good. So go sign up. It's free. And fiercefatty.com/challenge. You can find the link in the show notes. And I'll see you next time. Okay, now you can go. All right. Okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. And if you feel ready to get serious about this work and want to know when the doors open to Fierce Fatty Academy, which is my signature program where I teach all about how to overcome your fatphobic beliefs and learn to love your fat body, then go to fiercefatty.com/waitlist. Again, that is fiercefatty.com/waitlist to get your name on the waitlist for when Fierce Fatty Academy, my signature program, opens.